Hey, welcome back on the Good Morning Artesia radio show. And Raelynn Bean is here from Central Valley Electric Cooperative. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I just was enjoying that conversation with Mel about her foreign exchange students and their impression of American Italian food. I'm sure it's nothing like home cooking.
Oh, I'm sure. It's probably night and day.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's some pretty good Italian restaurants. That more traditional Italian food, but for me, Italian growing up was Chef Boyardee. I don't know about you, but that's what we had growing up. Get the can of SpaghettiOs.
There you go.
We're having Italian today. So, well, the Beyond the Wire is that just came out, right? Or
yes.
Did you talk about that last time?
No, we didn't.
Okay, so that is the CVE newsletter, right?
Yes, monthly newsletter. And if you don't get a paper bill, we email that out. If you're not on our email list, you can go to our website and join our email list. And if you just want to go back and look at past issues, then I believe it's all of 2022 and then all of last year's newsletters will be on our website.
Okay.
So you can go back and look at those if you want.
Looks like you talk about utility scams.
We do. People are always doing something to try and scam people out of their money, and they're smart about it, really. And they change. I mean, we'll get a call one month about somebody getting a call, and then several months later they've kind of changed their tactics, but it's still the end goal to try and lead you to believe that your power is getting ready to be shut off right then if you don't pay immediately. And we just want people to know that we're never going to demand payment like that. We've got rules that we have to follow and guidelines that we have to do from the New Mexico Public Regulation Commission on how to disconnect people properly, and we're never going to call and demand money. We do make phone calls, courtesy calls, to let people know they have a past due balance and when they're subject to disconnection and things like that. But
right.
we don't take payment over the phone. And so if somebody calls you and says that if you don't pay us this over the phone right now, then we're going to shut you off, then that should be your first clue that that's not CVE at all. So,
right.
And if you ever have any concerns or questions with somebody on the phone, don't ever give them any of your personal information. Hang up and look our phone number up and call us directly, and we'll let you know.
Okay.
Kind of.
I wonder if on a smartphone, when CVE calls out, if it comes up on your phone as Central Valley Electric or CVE.
I'm not sure. I know that this was a couple of years ago. We had somebody call and said that they had a scam call, and they gave us the number. So Mike and I thought, let's call this number.
Yeah.
So we call the number, and the guy answers the phone, Central Valley Electric, and we're like, "Oh, really?
What office are you in? Because I'm here now, and I don't see you. When did you get here?"
So finally, we started talking to him, and trying to make him feel bad for scamming people out of their money. He's like, "Well, I got to take my lady out." So. It's just funny
That's crazy.
the lengths that people will go to. I've always thought the brain power that it takes to come up with these operations, if they would put that brain power to something good,
Yep.
There's no telling what this world could accomplish.
That's right. So CVE will never call and demand payment.
Correct.
They won't take payments over the phone.
Correct.
So if you get any kind of situation like that going on, hang up.
Absolutely.
And
not just with CVE, with any of your utilities. Don't ever give your personal information out over the phone.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I do notice, though, that you have a letter from the governor on here as well.
Well, it's not from the governor. It's a letter
to the governor.
To the governor.
I misread that. I saw her name and I went,
Right.
Dear Governor Grisham. So who wrote this, and what are we asking the governor to be aware of?
It was a conglomeration of all of the electric co-ops in the state of New Mexico that are part of the New Mexico Rural Electric Cooperative Association. And so they drafted this letter, which again, this full letter is on our website, just letting her know our concerns about the grid reliability and some of the standards that have been imposed on not only the electric cooperatives but also on the investor-owned utilities in the state of New Mexico, and that they may not necessarily be attainable.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are attainable, they're not going to be affordable. And just talking a little bit about the supply chain and different issues like that, and just letting her know that hey, look, we are concerned.
Right. Because people, we don't live in a vacuum anymore. People watch the news. You see what's going on in California, for example, and nobody wants that. I mean, it's bad enough for the people of California that are having to deal with.
Right.
Of course, I always find it interesting. We had our hot weather cycle here a couple of months ago.
Right.
We didn't make the news.
Correct.
But it gets hot in L.A.
Right.
And oh my gosh,
that's big news.
It's big news, and even today, people here are still dealing with bills, paying for electricity that was used during our hot cycle that we had a couple of months ago, and so you want to have empathy for the people of California, but
right.
Different weather affects different people at different times of the year.
Absolutely.
And the utilities have to be prepared to try to handle these different extremes.
Right.
And you don't always get the help that you need sometimes from some of our elected officials.
Right.
Which kind of reminds me, and I told you I was going to ask you this as a reminder, people are getting their bills.
They are getting their bills. So we had bills that were sent out last week. And of course, the thing about that is that when you get your bill, it's not 105 degrees weather anymore. So you see that bill and you're like, oh my gosh, it hasn't been that hot. But you've got to remember that bill is for the entire month of August, and it was hot.
Mm-hmm.
For a big portion of August. And so that's kind of what's reflected on that bill. And then I know we've talked about this too before, Gene, but that fuel cost adjustment is higher than it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to affect people's bills as well. So
because you've said this before in the past, it's been a negative number.
Yeah, as of like just last year, it was a negative number, which would have been a credit on people's accounts, but just the price of natural gas.
And that's what's driving it now.
That's what's driving it.
So it's not still related to the poor Texas winter a couple of years ago.
No.
Specifically.
Right.
But it is affected by the price of natural gas, which has gone up tremendously.
Yes, that has gone up. Absolutely. Okay. And that's just, it's a straight pass through to our members, and we make zero profit off of that. And that it's an adjustment just to ensure that our members pay what we pay for the electricity.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a member of CVE, and I don't like getting my bill either. And it's not just an issue for Central Valley Electric. It's an issue for any electric utility across the country.
Right, having to deal with it. So hopefully we'll have some moderating weather.
Absolutely.
Which will help. Right. People can maybe implement some of their energy-saving tips that CVE also offers. And I do see a lot more people that are looking at putting some solar panels on their roofs. And I don't know how much that helps with some of their bills, but I'm assuming it helps a little bit.
It could help a little bit. I mean, your electric bill will definitely probably go down, but at the same time, you financed this solar system, so it might honestly be a wash at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, and everybody's got to run those economics and figure that out for themselves and their needs and things like that. So.
Sure. Yeah, because if it costs you $20,000, unless you got $20,000 sitting around.
Right.
You're going to go get a loan somewhere for
Correct.
that. And so you've got a little less electric bill, but now you've got
another payment.
A payment that
Right.
you've got to make. So
Yeah.
be sure and run all of those numbers. But I do see a lot more people
Right.
looking at it and putting them in.
Absolutely. We've gotten a lot more phone calls for people interested in solar. And, the one thing that I would just highly recommend to people is do your research on the solar company that you use.
Okay. But you can also, you've got energy saving tips on the website too.
Absolutely.
So there's other things you can do,
Right.
little things.
Sure, changing your air filters regularly, switching out your light bulbs to more energy efficient LED light bulbs. Call us and have that free home energy audit done. And they'll find areas that you're losing heating and cooling. Use a programmable thermostat. I went and looked at my usage since school started, and during the day it's gone down. I mean, naturally, because there's not 3 people in the house all day long, and that's just the nature of our family for sure. But if you can use a programmable thermostat and not have your air conditioner keep your house at 72 degrees all day long when there's nobody there,
Yeah.
then of course that's just going to save you energy.
And there's all different price ranges on programmable thermostats,
Sure.
from not horribly expensive
Right.
to
Couple $100.
doesn't that come with the
Yeah.
house,
Right.
type thing. But whatever fits your budget and
Sure.
will help you accomplish some of those goals, and
Right.
every little bit helps on doing that. So,
Absolutely. So on Monday, when we all had the day off, my thermostat's programmed, and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's hot in here. And I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah, we had the
I
opposite.
might need to readjust that.
We had the opposite here because we came down to do a little bit of work, and it was hot in here, so it's like, okay. And I have one of those that you can get on your phone.
Me
and,
too. Yeah.
And okay, I'm taking it, and I think about these interviews, and I think, all right, I only brought it down 1 degree.
There you go. 1 to 2 degrees is really all you should move it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you felt the air come on, and it cooled
Right.
everything down, and then
Or if you can turn a fan on and keep you cool, then that doesn't use as much energy as your
that's true. But when you're
AC
recording
coming on.
commercials,
Yes.
having that fan running in the background is not necessarily
Right.
a good thing. So. Well, good deal. Well, if anybody has any questions about their bills or the letter that was in there to the governor on grid reliability or anything else, utility scams, just give
Right.
you guys a call.
Absolutely. They can give us a call. They can go to our website. We've got lots of information on our website, and we're always glad to talk to you, so give us a call.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for coming in.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate that. And that's going to wrap up